G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. If you guys like this kind of content, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe, like the video, and even hit the notification bell so that you know exactly when my next upload comes every single day. Anyway, without further ado, I want you to sit back, relax, chug a prawn of the Barbie, and get ready for these bloody good stories. Let's go. Posted by user TopFile, titled, "Getting cheated on and getting a divorce made me realize how much I was missing from life. I, 33 female, just wanted to share this with everyone who is going through a divorce or a heartbreak for a similar reason. I married someone who I loved with all my heart. We met in college, and right after graduation we got married. I decided to stay home because my husband, 34 male, made a lot of money. I gave him everything, supported his business, cooked for him, and cleaned for him. I basically babied him a lot because I was in love with him. I thought if I was a good wife and I nurtured him, he would love me back. And for like 5 years, it was good. I discovered he was cheating on me when I found a random receipt from a hotel. I investigated a little and found out he was in fact cheating on me. And his affair partner was my best friend Kylie, 31 female. I was betrayed by 2 of my closest people. Kylie gave me a vague excuse that she didn't want to hurt me, but she just fell in love with him. His excuse was, "You do not make me feel special anymore. You've just got boring and let yourself go." I agreed I was a little chubby back then because of my medicines. Also, I was always too tired to work out. I tried the path of reconciliation, but failed. He left me for Kylie. The whole incident made me realize who are my real friends and who are the fake ones. There were people who were neutral, but only 2 of them. Josh and Marie were on my side, and they cut off Kylie. I was really devastated. I felt like without him, I was a no one. I lost my husband, my best friend, my house, and my life. I stayed with Marie for a while. She offered me a small job in her catering business. I love food. When I was married, I would make different varieties of food for my ex-husband. Cooking was just very therapeutic to me. During that time, Marie's mum gave me some useful advice. That is, an average human lives for 75 years. You are already 27. Are you that stupid that you want to waste the rest of your life being sad over a man who never loved you? That thing really stuck with me. I have trust issues because of my husband's infidelity. I have trouble dating, so I skipped it for a while. I focused on working on myself. I socialized with a lot of people while I was catering and made a lot of connections. I always wanted to start a business of my own, and since I loved creating food, a customer that I was catering for actually gave me an idea to start a baking business. My friends also helped me a lot. I built a pretty small yet successful baking business within a couple of years. I started to feel more of myself now that I'm free. I didn't realize I had so much free time in my hands because I wasn't busy taking care of a large human. My house was clean, no one is putting dirty laundry on the floor, no one's telling me to make something else because they're not in the mood for a certain dish. Nobody puts dirty dishes on the sink. I started to embrace this solidarity. I know those things that I mentioned are not something that's big, but it was a huge relief. Moreover, no one questions me whenever I go out. I don't have to answer anyone before going out. I can spontaneously go on a long drive, and I don't have to ask for permission. I learned a new language within my free time. I focused more on family and friends who genuinely love me. And getting dumped has made me see the red flags that I missed in my marriage. I used that as a lesson to steer clear of any trash men in my life. I dated a few men, but they just didn't seem nice to me. But it didn't bother me a lot. I'm happy being single and carefree. I see my divorce as a blessing rather than a curse. I do feel alone sometimes, but recently I got a call from Kylie saying that she regrets marrying my ex because he never appreciates her and always puts the burden of everything on her. They have 2 kids now, but my ex doesn't help her with any chores. She is always tired and exhausted after taking care of 2 kids and an adult. It just made me realize that it would have been me if my husband didn't cheat on me with Kylie. I simply told her, "Well, you said you loved him, so here's your problem now. What's the point of coming to me?" That B had the audacity to tell me that she wanted a friend. I blocked her number. I don't want to be in their lives. Sometimes I feel like I missed my prime because I'm now 33. I feel too old to start over, but I still have hope for love one day. I'm currently dating a guy who is also divorced like me because his wife cheated on him, so we'll see how that goes. Damn, what's that, Kylie? Kinda sounds like the consequences of your actions coming to bite you on the ass right there. I'm actually living for this post, I'll be real. Kylie had more than ample opportunity to see what OP was going through, to hear what OP was dealing with, and still saw all of this and was like, it'll be different. It'll be different for me. He loves me. He doesn't love her. That's why he's treating her like that. It's just insane how self-sabotaging some people are. In the comments, and the gag is the ex is probably having another Kylie on the side of his wife Kylie. Good on you. Congratulations on everything you achieved on your own. Currently going through a divorce after finding out my wife was cheating, and I've been pretty miserable and lonely and broken, but this was a nice read. I'm dating at the moment. A lot of women around my age, 36, are looking back at their wasted 20s, the kids they never really wanted, the marriage they signed up for to get approval from their parents, and now they're free of it and happy for it. And now for the next part of the story from the advice subreddit, titled, "My ex-best friend who was married to my ex-husband hired me to make a cake for her son's birth. I, 33 female, am in a bit of a dilemma. You see, my ex-best friend had an affair with my ex-husband when we were married. Our friendship fell apart right over there. I didn't have any contact with her until a month ago. She called me and said that she's not happy with her life. I've moved on with my life, and I don't need their shenanigans. I run a small baking business. It is relatively new. I only take orders for cakes on occasions like birthdays, graduation, or reunion, except for weddings. I have some plans to expand it, and also have a dream to open a bakery of my own one day. A few days ago, I get an order from my ex-best friend. She wanted me to make desserts for her son's first birthday, and she doesn't just want me to make a birthday cake, she also wants a dessert section in the birthday party. It's a huge order, and the pay is good. It'll be good for my business. But as you can see, she and I have a history. This made me question, why does she want me to do it? My ex comes from a well-to-do family. He also has a high-paying job. She could easily hire the best baker in town. Why does she want me to do it? My business is not that big. It made me feel like she's trying to grab my attention or just trying to sabotage my business. Or maybe she wants to talk to me after I shunned her the last time. On the other hand, the businesswoman inside me says to take it. I know I can do it. The party is huge. There'll be so many people from affluent backgrounds. I can promote my business to those people. It'll boost my revenue as well. I'm thinking that if I just avoid her as much as possible, then it'll be good, but I don't know. I'm stuck in between. I need some good advice. I'd do it. I'd do it. Money's money. Get that money. They're miserable together. Let misery have their own little company. It's only like a small amount of time. You'll get all these connections from it and you'll get a bunch of money. I see too many upsides. I don't see a lot of downsides. In the comments, take it. Make them the best cake you can. Show them that you're not bothered by either of them. The best payback is no payback. OP replies, hey, at least this way I'll get some money considering I wasted my 20s on an ungrateful man-child. ATJ says, I don't think you should do it. You've said there's a lot of interaction when planning the bake and you're likely to have to stay for the party. You might be over the ex and ex-best friend, but there's some weird game going on here, and the idea of you having to be on display at their party while whatever the F they're playing at unravels around you while you're surrounded by your former in-laws sounds like nightmare fuel. I have a suspicion that you're a pawn, and no matter how professional you are, you will be dragged into their drama. Taking the job in hopes that you can get business from their friends will only work if your ex and ex-friend allow you to stay all business. Do you really think that'll happen? And OP replies, I'll take your advice into consideration. Thanks. ATJ replies, sorry, I had another thought. If you do decide to take the job and have to stay at the party, independently make sure your ex-husband knows all about this somehow. I doubt she's told him she's hiring you, and that sounds like another bullet to dodge. And OP replies, I do have to make a decision by tomorrow. I shared my thoughts with my close friends and my boyfriend. They both think that I should do it and not overthink it. My friend said that if needed, she will help. But we will see. ATJ replies, I think both of them, and a lot of advice here, are coming from a screw them, take their money point of view, which is certainly valid, and they certainly know best what you can handle. I come from a place of caution as someone who A, bears a grudge and wouldn't want to be seen to be forgiving, and B, hates drama and would not want to be thrown into a situation blind. For me, the biggest thing that makes me caution no is the amount of interaction this would involve, especially actually attending the party. Whichever way you go, best of luck. And now to the update. I totally forgot about this post. A lot of people have been asking me what I decided, and I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but I accepted the order. It looked too good to pass it to someone else. Call me a greedy businesswoman all you want, but like you said, ask for advance payment. I did ask for it, and they paid in advance. I always ask for advanced full payment. I also minimized contact with my ex-best friend. So far the interaction between us has been through email, and also I have an assistant who is a family friend. He knows my situation and is a middleman. I am documenting everything. I know I'm taking a huge risk with this, but I'm willing to see where it goes. Also, I got to know hiring me was my ex-husband's idea, not hers. My ex heard about my service from a colleague of his, and he wanted to hire me. I haven't talked to my ex about this. Most of my communications have been with my ex-best friend. Nothing big happened. I'm still working on it. I will post a full update after all of this is done. Stay tuned. Bella Bon Voyage replies, Oh, this is the icing on the cake. He hired you? Oh, hun, get that money and, wow, some new potential clientele. OP responds, I have no idea why he hired me, but, well, I hope his wife doesn't mind. This is the last time I'll be taking any services from them. Maybe he's trying to win you back. What do you guys think? Do you think that the ex is trying to win her back? I have no clue what's going on. I'd love to know what you guys think so far. And now to the final update. Hi guys, I've read your advice and suggestions. You all made some really good points. So I decided to talk to my mum about it. I just needed her insight about this matter. She told me that I should do what I want to do. My boyfriend also encouraged me to take the order. He says that if I had to stay to organize the dessert table, he would be there for me. I took the order, and it turns out it was my ex-husband's idea to hire me because one of his colleagues recommended my services to him, and it was sort of short notice, so I had to rush this. Anyways, I kept it strictly about business. I did take the payment in advance, just like some of you have mentioned. I always ask for advanced payments. I mostly maintained communication through email. I have an assistant who is also a family friend of mine to handle all communications. My ex-best friend tried many times to meet with me in person, but I told her to just email me because I do have cake orders for other people too. I only had to meet her one time in person regarding the order. She sent me the details of the party over email. And like I mentioned, it was a huge order. I didn't just have to make a birthday cake for the baby, it is Pokemon themed. There were also cake pops, cupcakes, and macarons. Luckily, I had my friend Marie over for some help. Yes, I did pay her, so like usual, I went to deliver the cakes and do other stuff for the party. There was already a table set at the venue. My boyfriend Josh, 35 male, came with me to support me and to keep me away from my ex-husband and ex-best friend as much as possible. As I was busy with myself, my ex approached me and said hello. Not gonna lie, seeing him after so many years, my heart just stopped. This man has given me the worst pain you could possibly give to a human. I'm glad that I held my composure. I also said hello back. He tried to have small talk with me by saying that he's sorry about how things went down and what he said, and also I looked better than the last time that he saw me. Then he drops a big bomb. He said all these years he has thought of me, wondering what I was doing, even though he is happy with his married life. I was silent. I didn't say a word. He just kept spewing that he misses me and my cooking. My homemade French onion soup is still his favorite. He misses that every time he gets sick with the flu. I didn't know what to say. At that moment, Josh noticed that my ex was making me uncomfortable, and he rushed towards me with a fake emergency. He asked if I was okay, and I said yes. After the table setting was done, I was about to leave, and that's when I saw my ex-father-in-law along with other guests. He noticed me and came to give me a hug. My ex-father-in-law is a very humble man. In fact, he was the only man who was on my side when I was going through a divorce with his son. He looked really happy to see me, and he asked me how I was. He started to chat with me. I talked to him about my business, and he gave me some advice, and he even talked to my boyfriend. He called Josh a pretty standard guy, whatever that means. Ex-father-in-law was nice and said that he would suggest my services to his friends too. He insisted that I stay until lunch is served. I said no a couple of times, but he managed to convince me. I only stayed for 1 more hour or so, but I was fine. I did notice that my ex-best friend was eyeing me from the corner. I was fine because Josh was beside me the whole time. I chatted with some guests. They appreciated my service. I didn't have any more conversations with my ex. I didn't even stay for the cake cutting. I left the first chance I got, but my assistant stayed to make sure everything was fine and for the cleanup. It was overwhelming for me. I saw some of my old friends and my in-laws. My mother-in-law avoided me, and some of my old friends just said hello. Later that day, I got a message from my ex-best friend on my work email that she liked my service and that her guests really liked my cakes and desserts. She also said sorry. That's not where it ends. I got to know from my friend Marie, who is still in contact with some of my old friend group, that my ex-best friend is not happy with her marriage. Color me surprised. When my ex and her were in public, they would often fight a lot. They also fought on the day of their kid's birthday. To be honest, I just told her to not bring me the gossip about her. But the silver lining is that I got a huge fat check. I can finally buy a new sugar printer or maybe a good quality oven. Also, I just want to appreciate my boyfriend Josh. He has been incredibly supportive of me. He has protected me from my ex and ex-best friend like a knight. I think he deserves his own cake from me. And I know a lot of you told me not to take it, but I guess I'm just a greedy Mr. Krabs who cares more about the money rather than being classy. But this is the last time I will be taking any orders from them. I know they have a 3-year-old daughter whose birthday will be in 2 months. I think they might try to hire me again. I will not take it if that happens. And P.S. Yes, my ex-best friend did try to communicate with me during the party, but I managed to avoid it thanks to Josh and my ex-father-in-law. My ex-father-in-law knows about my situation and my discomfort with my ex-best friend. He kept me busy with small talk. Honestly, I think OP handled this in the best way possible, and I think they did the right thing. They got that money. What do you guys think though? Do you think that OP made the right choice in this situation? I'd love to know below. Our next post is by user Married Leprechaun titled, "Am I the a-hole for refusing to go to my own birthday dinner?" So a little backstory. I, 25 female, and my husband Vernon, 36, have been married for 5 years. It was arranged by my grandfather and his uncle. We are not American, so it's common here. Vernon wasn't too thrilled about the marriage, and he made it very clear because he was already in a relationship with Felicity, who's around 30s and is a female. Long story short, Vernon, his family, and Felicity did the most to make my life hell, and my dumb ass was stuck on the idea that one day he might change. About 3 years ago, I found out I was pregnant, and I was excited, but he wasn't, given we only had sex a handful of times before that, and he got it into his head that it wasn't his. The baby had complications, and I had to get a medical abortion. Not once did he or his family come to the hospital, and I guess that opened my eyes, and I just stopped caring. I stopped trying, and I just stopped caring. Early last year, he suddenly started caring, coming home early, calling me, bringing me flowers. It was quite uncomfortable for me. Then he tells me that he's had a change of heart, and he wants to try to better our marriage because he's developed feelings for me? It's all fishy to me, honestly. I wouldn't trust this man as far as I can throw him. He's been doing these little things, and I just can't shake that there is a joke coming at my expense. Now on to the story. It was my birthday last weekend, and Vernon told me his family was hosting me a birthday dinner. I told him I wasn't comfortable with that, and the last time that I was at his parents', they literally told me that my baby's complications were my fault and kicked me out because Felicity was uncomfortable, not to mention that they haven't apologized. They just started acting friendly. I kept telling him no, and he kept insisting. He let it go, and I assumed that was that. I made plans and I went out with my mum and cousins, and he starts calling me asking me where I am. I tell him, and he tells me that he's waiting for me. What? Long story short, his family is mad that I skipped because they apparently wanted to apologize so that we could move forward, and Vernon keeps saying he understands why I did it, but has been apologizing for everything and nothing. Last night, Felicity called me to cuss me out because they've left her high and dry, and Vernon wants nothing to do with her, so maybe they did want to apologize. I thought that I was in the right, but now even my cousins are telling me that I was wrong for skipping. Now I'm doubting myself. Am I the a-hole? I'll be real with you guys, I am so confused right now. It's like that house party scene from The Office where he's like, snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. You have no idea the physical toll that 3 vasectomies has on a person. Well, Vernon, you have no idea the physical toll of 5 years of loveless marriage, blaming me for the baby's death, accusing me of being unfaithful with you, all the while you have this little toy that you've been with on the side ever since we were together. Seemingly, this is a lot like the Princess Diana situation going on right now. I digress. I frankly would be very upset if I was OP in this situation. I wouldn't go to that dinner. Screw that family. We had 5 years to apologize. What, now that she's left, you're all like, all right, well, plan B. Thank God we made a plan B for you that we can all just get back into our lives when she's ready, or when we're ready. Not the asshole OP. Stick it to the man. Screw that apology dinner. They can start with a goddamn $10,000 apology Versace bag for all I care. That's when reconciliation begins. For some relevant comments about OP. Yes, I do work as a teacher. I don't make much, but since everything in the house is taken care of by Vernon, I've managed to save up a sustainable amount. I can leave and there wouldn't be much consequences on myself. Nothing physical anyway. It's my family that would suffer because me leaving would cause them to be shunned by the community. This means they won't be allowed in shops, they could starve, and people would watch them because their morals would be put to question. I'm looking into ways to take them with me to the next city. Oh, it's one of those cities. Birth control. Birth control isn't exactly a thing here because it defeats the whole populate the earth thing. I'm getting Mormon vibes. So I only get the one option, which I don't completely trust, but we haven't had sex in a year, but I have it just in case. Why did his uncle arrange the marriage? Sorry. I don't know how to add an edit to the post, but yes, his uncle is the head of the family and doesn't like Felicity because she's not from our culture. Vernon didn't go against his uncle because it would lead to his shunning. Marrying me had benefits such as the house we live in and a piece of land in the farming areas, so I guess that was it. His uncle mentioned to the family that the only way the marriage would end was if I was to initiate it. I didn't know about any of this, and everything has started making more sense now. One last comment from OP. Honestly, I don't understand the elders' reasoning behind our marriage. All I know is that I was of age to marry and had to marry before I was out of season. What? Jesus, I'm long past expiration then. At the beginning, I truly believed we could work it out because that's how most of my relatives' marriage started out, and they're happy now. After that, I realized that it was a lost cause because I couldn't leave because a divorce is unacceptable unless there is physical abuse. When F called me to cuss me out, she spilled the beans about the house being a benefit of the marriage and the uncle not liking her because she's not from our culture. I plan on asking Vernon or the others about more information because I'm in the dark and it's killing me. I want to make a well-informed decision on my next step going forward. At this point, I'm only staying because I don't want my family to suffer the shame of me leaving. What a funny little situation to be in. What would you guys do if you were in this one? And do you think they're the a-hole still? Because I definitely don't. Mini update/edit. Wow, I wasn't expecting this to get as much attention as it has. I'm overwhelmed and I'm sorry if I won't manage to reply to everyone. Thank you for your kind words and advice. Some more info on my family because I saw repeating questions in the comments. My family didn't know about most of what was going on. I chose not to tell them, but they still found out and were and are still willing to handle the effects of me leaving, but I can't let them do that. Everyone is happy, and this would disrupt their lives greatly. I can't bring myself to that, especially to my little nieces. A few hours after I made the post, I decided to have a talk with Vernon after he came home from work. It went somewhat okay. I followed some advice in the comments about starting over on my terms. I asked him questions that I needed answers to, and he gave me answers. I wasn't completely satisfied, but it's a start. I told him I would give our marriage a chance, but he had to know that he was completely done with Felicity and would be completely on board with this. I told him to stop with the love bombing because it was making me uncomfortable. I told him that I would absolutely not be having kids in the near future. I told him that I was in no way ready to be his wife and we would continue with our separate rooms. Surprisingly, he was on board with all of this and said he wasn't a boy anymore and that he was getting older and he needed to sort himself out and make things right. I asked him if he only had a change of heart because he wanted me to take care of him in his old age, and he said no. He said he realized that Felicity isn't what he's always wanted, and he started seeing her manipulative, toxic ways. His words. He said he was willing to put the house in only my name. It's 40% mine, entirely, as a way of showing that he is all in and would mess up if I give us a second chance. He said he was willing to give me as much space as I need. He said he'll have a word with his family about me needing time and space and taking baby steps. Honestly, I don't know where this will go at this point. I don't know the direction in which we are headed, but I'm willing to try so I can have a free conscience. I've started making a backup plan to leave, but that's in the worst case scenario. I'll update if anything significant happens. You know what? That's a pretty good outcome, and if he is true to his word, at least you get a free house out of this if he, screws up again. I continue my stance of not the asshole on this one. And I want to know if you think Opie is in the wrong for trusting this man, and if Felicity really is manipulative and toxic like he says so, or if there's something else going on in the background. Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought, obviously. Have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and have a bloody good time. Bye.